right, welcome to our Multiverse Minute, even if it's 45 minutes, news section of the week.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so let's dive right in there, guys. This is just our weekly news section that we're just going to break down anything that's come out. We'll touch upon, there's a little bit of rumors here or there, but the main thing is the news and what is actually happening at the moment. And so I'm going to start off with the first one, and then maybe my brother and I will just go back and forth on each one and go from there. So coming up, not filming right now. Some people are filming it. The CinemaCon 2026 is happening at this very moment that we are filming our episode. So, what are we expecting from this?
Well, from my perspective of the CinemaCon, or from what I understand of it, is the studios kind of appealing to the movie theaters themselves. So this is where you get a lot of real good, juicy stuff, because they're really trying to get the movie theaters to invest in the movie and in their promotion and all sorts of stuff. So this is where they're not afraid to show a lot of what they got going on or what's coming up. I think some of the better, juicier things we get are at CinemaCon rather than a Comic-Con, because the Comic-Con kind of caters to the idea of teasing. Your Comic-Con stuff, they want you to be excited and they're going to give you just enough. When at CinemaCon, it's like they're kind of proving that they have enough. I think they're going to get a full Avengers trailer in CinemaCon. I don't think we're going to get a full Avengers trailer for a while still. I think we're still going to get a main teaser trailer. But I think they get a full Avengers trailer at CinemaCon. Or maybe a full teaser. But I think it'll be fun to break that down when they start talking about that, which we will. We're going to stay away from any kind of leaked footage, because unless it's an official thing, we don't want to show anything that's not true, but we'll definitely break down anything that comes out of that when it comes down to describing it, because we're going to be interested too. I'll tell you, I wouldn't be surprised if they show Spider-Man to these people. They've been known to show whole movies. Oh, hey, look what we got. If not the whole movie, the first 30 minutes or so, for sure. You hear that a lot, I think they're going to get they're either going to show Spider-Man. They might show He-Man, because that's a big one that's coming out, anything big coming out. I bet you Mortal Kombat shows, because that's already been changed, like release dates, because of their confidence in it. So they might show that movie too, just to say, hey, look, this is why this is so good, and which we have fingers are crossed it is, because I'm hoping it is. I think that's what's going to happen with CinemaCon. It's usually how it goes. It's not really for us kind of people or the movie news people, but they still let those kind of guys in, because, the more you talk about something, the more free press it is, right? But because this is more for the movie studios. So I think we're going to get some juicy things for sure.
I think what I like about CinemaCon is you might hear some people online saying that cinemas are dying in the industry type thing, because everything's going to streaming and there's different ways of studios now being able to connect with their audience. And I understand that the industry itself is evolving, but what I like about CinemaCon is it's really showing that there is a movie theater going experience that we experienced more growing up, and even now that they still want to keep fresh and alive. And so that's what this whole thing is about, is that the studios are coming together, and they, as the studios, are presenting to these movie theater heads and to those AMCs and Regals and Cinemarts and Tinseltown, all this stuff about what they're doing. And then that's usually when either deals get made or the hype gets real and they know what movie they think is going to be the hot one because they put on a good show. So, of course, and Disney in particular has been known to put on a good show for these movie studios, for these cinema studios and things that.
That's right.
So, I think that we're definitely going to get a lot from James Gunn, I'm sure, regarding the future of DC.
Yeah, I forgot DC probably front and center too. They might even show Supergirl.
They might show Supergirl. They might show segments of it. I mean, they've been known in the past to last year bring Spider-Man out on the Sony panel. That's when they first announced that Brave New World, I believe, was coming, and they brought him out, and all this stuff happening. I won't be surprised of how much they're doing of Doomsday and what they already have, that they have something big planned.
Oh, yeah.
It's like an industry known, I wouldn't say secret, but it's talk within the industry that we've heard already from all these cinemas that Doomsday is going to be their biggest movie of the year.
Oh,
And I tell you, Disney, Marvel, Kevin Feige, they're not going to underperform when it comes to pitching their movies to the cinemas. They're going to put on the show. This might be a bold take, and it might not ever happen, but my prediction would be they're going to show a trailer to Doomsday, and they're going to have new cast announcements. And some of them may even walk on stage.
You think they'll do cast announcements at CinemaCon?
I think to bring up the hype, especially if there's a specific actor that's probably already there for another studio or another movie that's there, it's easy for them, like a Tom Holland, to walk out on the stage and say, guess what? Spider-Man's also going to be in Doomsday. I will not be surprised if they do something like that, because I think as much as some people enjoyed the chair watch of 2025, I don't think that they would go and do that again, although it would definitely get us talking again. So that maybe what they want to do was very successful. But I think their marketing strategy is going to be changing here and there just to keep up with some new flavor of something, to show us. And I won't be surprised if they announce someone maybe we didn't even think about is going to be in this movie, even though it's one or two characters, just something new. Maybe we might even see Chris Evans walk out on stage, just making his first grand appearance besides that teaser we saw in December.
Yeah, I think that's very plausible. I think anything could happen when it comes down to how they want to present Doomsday, right? I think it's more likely now that they would, whether between now or San Diego, I figure now would be the best time. But it is more likely that they do more cast announcements if there is more. I mean, obviously there's more than what was on Chair Watch, or we wouldn't have Captain America, because they left him completely out, and here he is still in the movie. So obviously they had ideas of hiding things from us anyways from the start, which they do all the time, which is fine. And also with reshoots, maybe at the time Chair Watch happened, these people weren't part of this movie yet, and now they are. So if I were them, I'd have the entire old cast of X-Men come out and present Doomsday, and have nobody from the Avengers. Just have the entire old school X-Men guys, all of them, come out and be like, by the way, we're all in this. And check out the new teaser trailer. And let it be an X-Men heavy one. Because if you want people to go see this movie, that's who's going to go watch this movie.
Yeah.
Then the next trailer would be a Avengers heavy trailer. And then no more trailers. Like, just give us the movie.
Yeah.
I kind of like this. I don't want to know what's going on, and I actually kind of want them to save as much of Doom as possible. I said Doom, and I apologize. I want them to save as much as Doom as possible. In fact, if we don't hear him talk or speak or barely see him between now and the movie opens, I think I'd be okay with that. I'd like more surprises out of that because if we get too much of him, I'm going to be like, ugh. We're going to pick it apart too much, and it's already the idea of him being Tony Stark, maybe not, maybe his, Robert Downey Jr., blah, blah, blah. We even going to see his face. I think that there's a lot of questions there. Just let us experience that as it rolls out in the film.
Yeah.
And, because I think that there's a lot of possibility that we do get more casts, so I think you're right on that.
Yeah, I definitely think that whether it is here at CinemaCon or it's at San Diego, Marvel does put on a good show when they do San Diego. Now, from my understanding, I don't think they did San Diego last year. There was one of these years recently that they skipped it.
Or it was very minimal, right?
If anything, it didn't have. But when they put on a show at San Diego, I tell you, it is like, we as Marvel geeks are like chomping at the bits on looking up the newsreels as it's happening in real time. Oh, they announced this, and every movie, usually the cast comes out. So I know that is one of the dreams for me, is maybe next year. That's what I'm predicting, is next year they're going to start rolling out what their Phase 7 and onwards going to be, because all we have is Secret Wars next year, and they are already, by the end of this year, rumor has it, they are starting to film one of the new movies for Phase 7, probably X-Men, which is the hot take right now, the most likely one. But I would not be surprised if, I don't think this year, because of the hype they're trying to make for Doomsday, they're going to do something like that, because they don't want to overshadow Robert Downey Jr. coming back as Dr. Doom type thing. But I do think next year at San Diego, that's my prediction, we're going to feast on Marvel.
Yeah, I agree with Sam. I think I've always wanted to go to one of them. We've kind of had a taste of Comic-Con going to one in Rhode Island that we really like.
Shout out to Rhode Island Comic-Con. You guys do a great job.
And we like it a lot. We're thinking about going this year to that again. Like I'm thinking very seriously about it. So we'll,
Mhm.
and it just costs a lot of money, folks. So sometimes it's hard to do, but I think we can make this one work this year. And when it comes down to San Diego, I'm going to hold my decision on whether I want to go to that until I see how good Doomsday is. If Doomsday just rocks it and kills it, then sign me up. Let's go. Let's get our tickets way ahead of time.
Mhm.
If it doesn't, then man, I'm just going to wait it out with everybody else. You know, because like I just want to be ready. You know, it's because it's not like we're going to be able to afford to really meet a lot of these people.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah,
but
both.
it would be nice to be
Yeah.
there and experience it like they do, like the fans really do, and how much they like it.
Yeah.
Then I can wear my Fat Thor costume again. So I have an awesome Fat Thor costume.
Oh gosh, yeah.
So
yeah, you were pretty hot in that Fat
I couldn't
Thor
believe how many
costume.
pictures
Like,
people want with you.
yeah,
Aren't they?
people were like, "Oh, we need pictures right now,"
Yeah.
and he looks just so perfect for it. Anyways, so yeah, that's what we're that was our 2 cents on CinemaCon 2026.
Yep.
It's happening right now. And by the way, with that mentioned, if something like a Doomsday trailer does come out within this next upcoming week, we are doing a quick, hey, this just came out. We're getting together right now and doing a quick video for you guys so you get to see our reaction to it and our 2 cents to it. So
if something that big happens, we will do an extra video.
Oh yeah,
and so keep your eyes open this week, particularly for any kind of. If it's nothing that's really light shattering, we'll save it for next week's, multiverse.
Yeah, if they show a trailer to the audience, but it's not released to the public, on their official platforms or anything, we're not going to show leaked footage, but we are going to talk about it because at that point they've made it as news.
Yeah,
it's just not video news. You know what I mean?
It'll be a big feature next week.
Yeah,
and I don't know, maybe if the leak footage they discuss is real big, maybe we will do a video on it. So let's just see what we get first.
Exactly.
Go from there.
Yeah. All right, so take it away with the next thing on our news.
All right, so our next news thing is something to do with Chris Evans, go figure. Chris Evans indicates that he is in the next one, quote unquote, and will be shooting very soon, quote unquote. What does this mean, Sam?
I mean, of course, the internet went abuzz when this happened. I remember watching the video of this. I don't know if this is who he was talking to or this is just some lady reacting to it. There's this woman that you hear Chris Evans actually say these things. So, and I don't think it's an AI generated thing. I think he actually is just saying, hey, I'm filming stuff. If you want to be a skeptic about it, you could say, oh, these are just reshoots of Doomsday. That's what he's meaning. He's in the next one, meaning he's in the next shoots or whatever. I think this is Secret Wars, and everyone else seems to think he is confirming he's going to be in Secret Wars too. And we've always speculated Secret Wars is going to have everybody. So
most likely,
I would not be surprised if what he's filming. Yeah, I'm sure he's filming Doomsday reshoots, but I think he's also filming some Secret Wars too. And he just let the cat out of the bag, but being very vague about it. That's my 2 cents.
Yeah, these kind of news things I'm real careful with because he could be talking about anything. It might not even be him. From what I understand, this is a recording of him saying this to someone who's not even a news outlet. So it's kind of like, I don't know. What's it mean? He's in the next one. It could be the next Harry Potter. I have no idea. Obviously he's probably talking about Captain America. He's probably talking about his stuff. I think it's kind of a no-brainer though that he's in the next one. I mean, if you're going to bring Captain America back to fix your mistakes, because we know that's why you did it, Marvel. I'm just very cynical about it. I personally would not have ever brought him back, but I see why you are. And I'm not saying it still can't be amazing. It can be amazing. It's just, we just gotta just be careful with what he did before, because what he did before was chef's kiss. So don't ruin this. You know what I mean? Like if you're going to do something with it, let's do something real good. Because that's just that ending of him dancing with Peggy, and it just goes, I'm like, oh man, I almost wanted the universe right there to just end. But let's no more, to stop. You know what I mean? Like,
we like bold decisions, so we don't like stupid decisions.
Yeah.
So,
but I understand why he's back. I think it will make for a fun story. I think he's awesome. I mean, he is Steve Rogers. I'd like him to come back and just take the shield away from what's his face, and then we'll just leave that till we get to that movie. But yeah, I think it's no brainer. If he's going to come back, I mean, why not bring him back for both these two that are so close together? I mean, if you're talking, he's back for the next Avengers movies, but he's got to wait 6 or 7 more movies, then that could be that's probably not what he's talking about. But you're talking these two movies are so close together that I bet there's characters that we have in this one that they've even filmed some of their stuff for the next movie for timing wise. Excuse me, for timing wise, because it's going to be hard to get done later for the next movie. You know, I mean, they do this stuff all the time when it comes down to franchise kind of things. I think we're going to get Robert Downey Jr. back as Iron Man in Secret Wars, to be honest with you. I don't think he's going to go further than that. I think it's going to be some sort of time complacent, blah, 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 whatever they're going to use to make this movie awesome is what they're going to do, you know, and if they're smart, they can do that, you know, just give us a good ending to Cap. If he ends, if he doesn't end and he stays in, that's even cooler. I hope Chris Evans does it till he's 90. Why not? You know, it's like we're going to have Hugh Jackman till he's 90. I don't think we won't, because I feel like there's so many things we can do with that. He could, even if he just shows up here and there or something else, or however, he's going to do these for a long time. You know, and so, yeah, I don't want to read too much into it, though, because we don't know what this really means. We really don't know.
Yeah, no, we don't. But it circled around, and something came out of it. So we had to bring it up for our part of our news segment here.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure, because it probably is. That's really what it comes down to. But, you know, his character is still alive in the Knives Out series in Netflix, and they just had a successful third one of that, and they're already talking about filming a fourth one of that. Maybe that's what he's talking about. So it could have been a whole different movie, folks.
Speaking of characters still alive, we haven't heard that Steve Rogers, the MCU Steve Rogers that we know, that we saw at the end of Endgame, Old Man Steve. We don't know if he is actually deceased or not.
Yeah, we don't.
I mean, that super soldier serum is supposed to help you from aging so much too. That's why he looks the way he does, and he's just shown his age from that. And that's another reason why I'm a little worried about how they're doing this with bringing him back type thing, because Russo brothers already kind of insinuated he went back and had the life that he always wanted to have, and so I don't want to mess that up. But
they got time travel now, so there's a lot of MacGuffins that we got to.
And they have variants. We don't even know if this is the Steve Rogers from Earth 616.
That'd be their biggest mistake, though.
You don't think they'll do a variant?
I'll tell you, that'd be the worst thing to do. Yep.
All right.
I mean, does that set well with you?
No.
If you get into the movie and it's, hey, by the way, we're not touching that Steve. We're just going to pull Steve out of a different place. Yeah. I don't know. This variant thing works well with some, but not with others. When it's that iconic with that character, it's, I don't know. If you're going to bring him back, bring him back. I don't know. That's why I struggle with this multiverse thing. Because sometimes it makes the stuff they've done feel not as important. And when you start doing that, you start losing me as a viewer. Or at least someone that not as passionate. Like, I'll probably watch these until they really go off the rails. They really got to go bad. But passion-wise and loving them wise, I don't want a variant Steve Rogers. If we're going to get a variant Steve Rogers, it might as well be a different actor, different thing. I'd rather that than him. Yeah. Well, maybe that's how I feel. I mean, saying it's their thing. They can do what they want, right?
I am, if it comes to that where he's a variant Steve Rogers in this movie, I don't know honestly how I feel about it for that purpose, because I feel like I can separate the Steve that I know from the Steve they want to tell. I feel like I knew that from Wanda, from Doctor Strange, the Multiverse of Madness, that they were able to do a variant of Wanda, and I was able to know, okay, I love Wanda, but I know this isn't the same Wanda here, things like that, you know? So I don't know. It's definitely a possibility, but I don't know what they're going to do.
I think my issue with it more is just they can't be exactly the same. So if we're going to have that Captain America Steve Rogers that we know, we need the one that we know. If you just bring in a new guy and we just say, okay, he's just a variant played by the same actor and stuff, and he's exactly like the old Steve Rogers, then you want to just have the old Steve Rogers back, you know?
But I can see that as part of it.
They're all a little different, even though they're the same underneath, and they have, like, even in Loki, when you watch that, they're all a tad different about who they are and what they're doing and where they're from and what they think. And maybe we'll get a whole different version of Steve Rogers. Maybe that is the big swing they'll make, and that might be something I'm in for. But
it could be something as simple in the movie. And again, we don't know what the movie script is.
No clue, guys.
Yeah, we know some people online that say they've read the script cool. Good for you. So we're just speculating. And you could probably tell us if we're right or wrong, or I'm sure you won't even want to touch that with a 10-foot pole to keep your people and
Best part is just him saying these couple of quotes that might mean nothing got all this talk out of it. So if it is anything, fantastic. If not, then man, we just talked a lot about and just talk about nothing. So who knows what it is?
I think that's a good way to segue then into just our next topic.
Yeah, go for it. So we'll stay on that all day.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, and this next one we're probably would stay on all day too. So we're gonna have to control ourselves here.
Yeah.
But the MCU's X-Men films, the X-Men film has confirmed its writers, at least these writers in particular. According to director Jake Schreier, Beef creator Lee Sung-jin, and the Bear writer Joanna Callow. I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name. Are currently rewriting the script. Schreier wants, quote, ideology and soap opera drama to take center stage in the script, in the film. So what are you, as X-Men fan, probably more than MCU fan, what is your 2 cents about this?
So, and adding any kind of talent to something is good. And this, have you watched Beef or The Bear? Either one of those?
Correct me if I'm wrong, but is Beef the Netflix show with Ali Wong?
Yeah. Yes.
I have watched Beef.
Okay. But you haven't watched The Bear?
No.
Okay.
But I heard about The Bear. Isn't that something about a kitchen?
Yep.
Okay.
I've seen both these shows, and The Bear is one of my favorites.
And The Thing is in The Bear.
That's correct.
Evan Boss.
Right. Yeah.
The Thing.
Sorry.
You're in a Bengram.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll get your name correct. Yeah, I've watched both these, and I'll tell you, they are excellent shows. I thought Beef was great. It was strange, weird, out of nowhere. I like that person style writing because I feel like there's a lot of spontaneous stuff going on, which makes it neat because I feel like that person will take swings.
Yeah.
And put out maybe too many, and then someone could say, let's bring it back a little bit. What I love about the writer of The Bear being involved in this is if you watch The Bear, what a character-driven show. Its show is great. It has that dramatic soap opera feeling, but new age, so it's not like your daytime soap opera feeling. Okay. It's like what you want to see. It's very realistic life, kind of what these people are going through. And that person writes those characters so well in The Bear. Probably top 3 best TV episodes I've ever seen in my life comes out of that show.
That's big praise, especially in connection to something we're deeply passionate.
And I've seen a lot of things, guys. And The Bear has an episode in season 2 called The 7 Fishes. And it is one of the best TV episodes of a show I've ever seen in my life. It's so good. It's laugh, cry. I mean, and John Bernthal is in it. There's got quite a cast in that role. And John Bernthal plays a great role in The Bear. But my point being is, back to the news story itself, is this is great because these writers are fantastic. And what makes me excited about that is that's the kind of touch we need for the X-Men. We need those nuances that the person from The Bear that will bring about these characters, because I don't want my Cyclops to be one-sided. I'm not saying Marsden did a bad job. I think he was the closest to doing the best, to be honest. Obviously, he is the best Cyclops we've ever had. And hopefully, we're going to see more and be even better. But yeah, to be able to have that nuance in there, especially when it comes down to him and Jean's relationship, I think that the Bear writer is perfect for that. It's perfect for the Bear writer is perfect for the inner dynamics of a family that's going through something really hard, that has inner turmoil, but still finds a way to bind itself together, because that's what The Bear is about. And that's the X-Men, folks. So let's get that. I like to see that inner turmoil between each other, where there's, there might be some struggles on how they work together, what they decide to do, but ultimately they're a family that work together for a bigger purpose. And in the Bear, it's like those epic moments where they come together and it all works. You want to stand up and clap for them, because you're like, yes, good for you. And that's how we want to feel when it comes down to an X-Men movie. We want to be cheering at the end of the movie, like, yes, you're the X-Men. You know what I mean? Like, we want that. And it makes all their little inner moments inside makes those bigger moments even better because they'll feed into each other. Yeah, and Beef will bring, that writer will bring the spontaneity of something new, bigger swings, something crazy that makes you go, I can't believe that just happened. And then they'll be able to bring it in with the other. I think it's a great choice. You know, it's either a great choice or this will be their first mistake, because from what I consider what these two people have been involved with, it's been fantastic television. So I can only imagine it's going to be a fantastic movie in that sense. It gives me a little bit of light because I dread this X-Men movie probably more than anybody else. I know Sam's close by, but I really dread it. He's seen it in my eyes when we talk X-Men that I almost don't want it to happen.
The light is going. It's dimming.
But this gives me, okay, hey, look, if you put the right people behind it, you are going to get a good movie at the very least. And this shows me that they are, at the very least, taking it very seriously, because these are very serious writers with two very seriously epic good shows, for sure. I highly suggest Sam you watch The Bear. I really do. You'd like it a lot.
I will. I am curious. I was curious about it for a while, but now that I know that these are going to be some of the same creative minds behind writing the X-Men, which is like so near and dear to my heart, that I definitely want to see what their style is like.
You will be excited, I promise, because you'll be like, those are the depths I want them to go in with X-Men. Yeah, you'll see what they're doing.
So the thing that struck me about this news, because I'm glad that my brother broke down these two people and what they're credited for with Beef and the Bear and things like that, because I didn't know anything about them to that regard. But when Jake Schreier says that he wants ideology and soap opera drama to take center stage, two things come out at me about that. Soap opera, I'll touch upon as the first thing. X-Men, anyone who reads X-Men comics, it is nothing but a soap opera. And some people, that's cool, that's good, and it works great for the comics themselves. I mean, how many times in the comics has Jean Grey died and come back to life? How many times now in the movies has Xavier died and come back to life? So, like, I mean, soap opera stuff is kind of baked inside X-Men. It's just finding a way to make that appealing to your broader audience. And I think that if these writers are any indication of what you just said, they'll know how to take the best elements of that and put it into a worthy script for the X-Men. That's what my hope is, and that's what I'm looking forward to in that regard. The ideology part is the only part I would say that concerns me a little bit, only because in this hyper-politicized world that we live in now, and X-Men definitely touch her whole core was on civil rights and touching upon the times of things and why they're using mutants as an example, a fictional example of the differences between us as regular humans and how we could coexist or not coexist. That's the only part that I am just worried about, because we get enough of politics in our daily life that when I go to watch an X-Men film, yes, touch upon it, because that's going to be what it's supposed to be about. But my worry is they decide to weaponize that into an agenda for us to shove down our throats for the 2.5 hours we're watching this movie. So what I will say to kind of combat that a little bit is I love what Fox did with the X-Men in that regard. They made it where it was mutants versus humans, and some of those social, political struggles, they were there. They were front and center, but they didn't alienate anyone watching them. It didn't matter what side of the political spectrum you are or the social spectrum you are. You could watch those films and you don't feel like you're being attacked on either side. And I think if they take that same approach and blueprint that they had in the Fox X-Men, because let's face it, Fox is actually a great example when it comes to, did these work? Did they not work? Did the X-Men work? Did the Fantastic Four work? That's a great example, because Fantastic Four did not work. And you see how many times they tried to reboot it to make it work, and they just couldn't do that formula the way the Marvel so far has been able to do. But X-Men did work. The creative team behind that with Bryan Singer, sometimes Simon Kinberg. I have to say sometimes. I'm sorry, dude, but you do have some bad taste in my mouth still. And Lana Donna Schumer and some of these other people that were the creative geniuses behind the X-Men films. It worked. Matthew Vaughn comes to mind. I think it's Matthew Vaughn Who's the director of First Class?
Yeah, Matthew Vaughn.
Yeah.
And don't forget Feige.
Got you right.
Yeah,
Yes.
from the beginning.
He was. Yes. Yeah. He was a producer on them too. So, like, they had some blueprint that actually gained the fan following, such as my brother and I, where we're so passionate about them. And we actually liked some of the creative things they did with them. We want to see some things change a little bit and maybe expand upon. Cyclops is a good example, give Storm a little bit more of a front type thing. But like, other than that, you have to be able to blend that connected with everybody in with whatever this quote unquote ideology is that you're going to be doing. So that's my only worry going into this is, are they able to do as successful on that front that Fox was able to do? Because regardless if you like the Fox X-Men or not, some you loved, some you hated, they were pretty consistent on that part, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So that, other than that, though, everything else so far, it sounds really cool. And Jake Schreier showed he was a great director, and I think to a degree a writer on the Thunderbolts. Maybe not a writer, but I'm not sure. He was definitely great at that film, and I see why it highlighted from Marvel, oh, we can use you for a bigger team than Thunderbolts type thing. And so I'm excited to see what that's going to be like, and I'm excited to see these moves.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I'm hoping. Look. Excuse me, like with you, I'm hoping that when they talk about the ideological stuff in that, I'm hoping they're still just referencing on how they work on their personal dynamics with it being mixed in. I think that we're going to be very surprised to see what they do. Hopefully they keep us interested. There's the characters of Magneto and Xavier are the two that hinge the most on how you feel about them, about ideals of where it comes from. And if that's not believable or felt like it's earned, then that's where the X-Men will fail. The rest just fall into place because they follow those two. But if we don't believe either of those two in what they're talking about or feel like it's an earned situation or an earned topic, then that's where it's going to fail the most.
And I'm telling you, Fox and Bryan Singer got that right.
No, so right.
It was like the chef's kiss you talked about earlier. That was a chef's kiss for them in particular.
Just Patrick Stewart saying something wholesom as Professor Xavier makes me tear up. It's amazing.
And what gave me hope
so much.
What gave me hope in that is when Professor Patrick Stewart as Xavier in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness said the same line that is echoed throughout all of Xavier's sentiments in the Fox films. That gave me hope that at least Marvel Studios recognizes there is something about those Fox movies that we want to definitely ingrain in our version of them. It's just how they're going to do it.
I have no doubt they know why we love them and they know what worked.
Yeah.
I think their problem is how do they mix it in with what they've started in the MCU now.
Yeah.
I think that's what their biggest hurdle is. Now, how do we get them in this universe that makes sense? And then it's easy to go with, So we'll see how it goes.
All right. Well, moving on from that, why don't you take it away? These are some of our honorable mentions. We have 3 of them to discuss with you. So why don't you start off with the first one?
So Marvel Animation reveals a promo poster of X-Men 97 Season 2.
All right. So from my understanding of this, and I don't know, have you watched the first season of 97?
I actually have, yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
I like it. I think it's good. I think it's, I struggle with cartoons these days. It reminds me so much of the old one, clearly, because that's what they're trying to do. That it was a good thing to put on in the background and enjoy and watch. And it just makes me want that Cyclops so much more. This Cyclops is so awesome. And
that's amazing. Cyclops.
He is so good. And I think, and because they're doing it with that, I know they know that's how you're supposed to do Cyclops. So, folks, we're going to get some great James Marsden Cyclops stuff coming, I promise. I think I really am convinced that that's going to be awesome. So, yeah, I'm excited for it. Like I said, it's not top tier excitement for me because cartoons and I have a weird relationship. But it's X-Men. So, I like the nostalgia feeling of it. I enjoy it a lot. I think it's a lot of fun. I think they're going to bring some new characters that are like new characters of now and put them in like an old style feeling, which I think will be really cool.
Yeah, I agree. I liked the reboot of 97. I will not imagine. I already saw it. It was good. So I did like it. I liked that what they did with it. I had a couple critiques about it myself personally, but that's not anything that took away from my whole experience of watching it, because some of those episodes, like spoiler alert, Gambit's death. Oh my gosh, that was just what a good episode. Emma Frost finally getting her second mutation, which shows that she's going to be around a little bit longer. She's one of my favorite mutants of all time, by the way. So whenever I see something related to her on the screen, whether it's cartoon form or movie form, I either am super critical or I'm eating it up. So, but it's just the first season I thought was really done well. I didn't like some of the creative choices they did, but I also, they took some big swings for some of these episodes, and I did like the creative choices they did. So, it definitely, regardless of how you felt about that first season, it ended on a big cliffhanger on what the heck is going to happen.
Yep.
And it was a cliffhanger that everyone unanimously said, we want to see what the next thing is going to be. And this teaser poster of season 2, which we haven't gotten a trailer, but the trailer is out online on leaked cell phone footage because of the New York Comic-Con that happened last year. They showed it, but they never officially released it. So if you were one of those people that did see it, we're not going to show that footage right now until they actually release it. But from what I did see, it was really good looking. It was, and I'm excited
to reaction when it comes out officially.
Yeah. I'm excited for some things they alluded to, such as Apocalypse coming back and things like that. He's one of my favorite characters, but I like the version of Apocalypse in the animated cartoons in the 90s, and it sounds like they're bringing that same one back.
Sweet.
And again, that does not translate well for the movies, so anyone who doesn't like X-Men Apocalypse the film, I'm sorry, I have to disagree with you on that. But anyways, I'm not going to get into that right now. We're going to save that for that film.
That's a hot take according to everybody else.
Yeah. Well, that's a hot take I'm willing to burn on, because that's passionate. Anyways, so cool. I like seeing the first official glimpse released to the public. I'm excited. I am sure that by San Diego Comic-Con this year, we're going to see a full trailer. If not, I believe the whole season is supposed to come out during the summer. So they might even premiere the episode there, and then it just starts on from there. We don't know their schedule, but I'm excited to see it. Yeah. I had the privilege to, I will just say as an honorable mention, of meeting the cast of this show at a comic convention. A couple years ago. I went with two of my best friends to Rhode Island. Again, great comic convention. And I have those pictures proudly displayed in my office and in my living room of meeting Lenore Zan. And there's just, childhood memories just coming to life.
I miss that Comic-Con with them. I kind of wish I didn't, but
yeah.
It's real good people.
Yeah, well, he's got to go to the next one whenever we go again, because they're just fun to do. They're great fan experiences, and
we'll do a bunch of clips from it too for you folks if we go.
Oh, totally. Yes. So, that's my 2 cents on that.
Sure.
So
I'm going to read the next one too, Sam, since I can't see the others, so you can do the last one. Okay,
you got it.
So next one here in Marvel news. Okay, Marvel's television boss joins the Escape podcast to discuss behind-the-scenes deets on She-Hulk, zombies, and more.
Yeah, so in that, do you have anything to say before I jump in?
Sure. I will say this. I haven't watched these guys. I just discovered this podcast, and they get my blood pressure up a lot. So no offense to you guys. You guys are doing great, but sometimes you have some takes that make me want to reach through the screen and just pull you down to the table. And but I think that's the point, and that's you guys are doing a great job. So keep doing what you're doing, because it's very entertaining. Also, like awesome guests that you get for sure. But I did go and I made sure to watch this clip for today, so I knew what was being said. And I don't understand this guy who's doing this. This is what kind of fuels my frustration with the TV stuff. He wants more She-Hulk. Like, what did he watch? What he made? What they made? I mean, it's not good, guys. I mean, everybody knows it's not good. I know there might be people that could say it's not as bad as you say, and I'm with you. But deep down, dig down deep, guys, it was awful, and he knows it. He wants more of that. I mean, maybe he wants to correct it. Hey, you know what? Do another season and make it better. I'm in. I'll give him a shot. I like a lot of the stuff from it. There's things in She-Hulk that worked a lot. She's great as the character. CGI was okay. I can let CGI go for it being a TV show. You know, the Abomination stuff was iffy, but you had Tim Roth. That's a big actor, you know. Juan was very fun in it. I think he fit in that kind of realm real well. Other than that, it was a real crappy show, guys. So I just started watching zombies actually this week for fun. I'm not because I was never going to watch it, but I turned it on, and it's a good time. I would definitely want more zombies. I think it's a good time for an Elseworld or just this. It has nothing to do with anything. Just have fun with your characters. I've enjoyed what I've seen. Once again, it's an animation thing for me, but it's been fun to have on in the background. And I watched one actually the other night, and I surprisingly was invested. I'm like, wow, this is really good.
Yeah.
So yeah, give us more of the zombies. I will take more of that for sure. That's the kind of stuff I want to see as this. Really, I want the X-Men 97s. I want the zombies. I want the What If show to be longer, actually. She-Hulk? No, I don't want that. So that's all I got to say about that.
to piggyback off of what you said, well, first I have to mention I do watch the Escape Pod podcast. I started watching their clips when they were pulling up on my YouTube, and then after that, I'm like, I gotta see more of these guys because like we're Marvel nerds. I'm a huge Marvel nerd, so to meet two Marvel nerds through my phone would be like, oh my gosh, you're doing the podcast that we want to do, type of thing, and now we're doing it. So I think that's really cool. I commend you guys for putting on a good show. And yeah, my blood gets boiling too. But what I love about it is that sometimes you hit points that my brother and I are saying, but it's not generally out there. And so I appreciate those other voices. But then you say things that I'm like, oh, why?
Their take on the Dark Knight universe with Christopher Nolan, you guys.
And this is no hate, by the way. This is just us. Everyone has different opinions.
You are one of 9 people that feel that way, just so you know. You guys are great, but there's nobody else feels that way about those movies except you guys.
Yeah, but even then, like I appreciate you guys. I love tuning into your episodes and everything. So, and I did watch this full episode because I do like watching them anyways. Yeah. And I think this is really cool that you had the TV boss on for Marvel, and I was very interested to hear his takes on some of those shows that did not do well, and She-Hulk was one of them because I have a love-hate relationship with the She-Hulk show. The love part is I love She-Hulk so much that I was anticipating her show, and then when we got it, I'm like, okay. Strong first episode when we do retrospective of the She-Hulk show, because we are in our March to Doomsday. We'll dive into that a little bit more, but there's just I would like to talk to someone that Brad here had mentioned. I think his name is Brad, right? Did I get it wrong? I am so sorry if I got it wrong, but I don't know if it's mentioned on mine.
Yeah, we didn't put it down. Yeah.
Anyways, I'm just gonna say your name is Brad for the moment.
Yeah,
I would love to see someone who is not a fan of Marvel, that just likes television in general or comedies in general or things like that. I would love to hear their 2 cents on the show if it's exactly what Brad said it was in that episode, where according to him, it hit with the general audience really well and is one of their highest performing shows, but the fans did not like it. And obviously, this is a good example of your fans are your base. And if you get your fans excited about something and liking something, you will get more people that aren't even normal casual fans of the show to start liking it. So it's interesting for me to hear that when you type in She-Hulk on YouTube, you see all the negative stuff about her. Some of it is kind of uncalled for, I agree, but also some of it is kind of valid. And to hear that this is internally one of their highest rated shows, I want to meet someone who's watched the show and just likes it and doesn't know a thing about Marvel, because I just have not yet met someone like that.
It's an interesting inquiry. Yeah, I agree. I think they're going to hate it just as even more because it leans so hard on needing to be in that Marvel universe. But the problem with it is I think you're going to get, somewhere between the 8 to 16-year-old younger kids that would find it more appealing because it's almost like a TikTok, the whole show. It's so ridiculous and out there and jokey. It's not serious. That's your general audience you're getting for that. And that's been this we'll get into it more when we talk about the next news one too. This has been my whole beef with the TV show thing in general. Is you're catering to a specific audience with the TV shows on purpose. And I get it. Do that. But that's not what your agenda is with the movies. So your movies, you've done a very good job at making them accessible to everybody almost every time. You know, when you make Guardians of the Galaxy, you got young kids to people that are 60 saying this is awesome, right? You're not going to get that 6-year-old liking She-Hulk. He's not going to like it. You know, and you might get the young kid to like it. So then if She-Hulk has anything to do with the universe, there's your problem. Here's your issue. It's just the clarity of where that universe of the TV show stands and align with the movies is the issue that we have on whether we like these shows or not. I'm definitely a heck of a lot more critical about the show, thinking that I'm going to need to know this as I go into the movies. If I watch this show knowing it has zero things to do with the movies and it's just a show to watch, I wouldn't have been as hard on it. Mm-hmm. I'd be like, that's unique, not for me. Pretty cool. Go watch it.
Yeah, I think in my opinion, that's the point. I don't mind. I actually kind of like this idea of what the original intent of the Disney Plus shows were. You take those, what people would view as the B and C tier characters that aren't your breadwinners that can helm a film type thing, and you want to explore what they're like while you have those actors here still portraying them, and do a 6 to 9 episode thing, sometimes half hour, sometimes an hour, depending on what it is. I think that's really cool. The only gripe I have on it is when they start saying you have to watch the show in order to get the next movie. Because like you said, everything from movie-wise, you could jump from movie to movie and you have the great experience. Sometimes, for the hardcore fans, you have to know what happened in the movie prior to that, but you didn't have to watch a whole show prior to that to figure it out. And what I like about the show thing, too, is like you have Kamala Khan, Ms. Marvel. You have Daredevil, two completely opposite type of characters with their own unique style. And if you like those characters from the comics, or you like that style of TV shows, you will like those shows. But then when you put them into the movies, I don't want to have to rewatch those shows or educate myself on both characters to enjoy them in the movie. And I think that's what Marvel has done wrong.
Well, what they've done wrong is not so much what you don't want to do. It's that they've never made it clear to you if you have to or not. Because it's one thing to be like, I don't want to either. But if they told us from the start that we had to, then we'd understand that, okay, we got to accept this and do what we can do. And we probably would have, when on board, still been as critical about it. But at least we know what we're getting means something later.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I loved the first season of Loki. Loved it. Until I found out it really isn't that important. And then, there's things that happen in Loki that made me think, why is this not in a movie?
Daredevil.
When it branched off, and I'm like, oh my God, this is huge for the Marvel Universe. Come to find out it's not that big a deal because, it's not really part of it. Wait a minute.
But now, is it?
Now it is, right? Because when we go into Doomsday, Loki's supposed to be. So do I not have to see any of Loki to go into Doomsday? They haven't told us this yet or not. Or yet they have actually said they've even went back on it with Wanda. We'll talk about it in the next one. It's like the WandaVision thing. It's like, hey, you don't need to see WandaVision to watch Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. You really don't. Although the kids thing was kind of like, whoa, where'd that come from? But you really didn't have to see WandaVision. I get it. But if you want to know anything about Vision still being alive, you need to see WandaVision. Right?
Thankfully, this next thing we're going to talk about is a show. But for the Wanda point of view, we actually have firsthand experience of someone who didn't watch the show and went into Doctor Strange thinking, what's this of Wanda? She's a villain now. She has kids. What's all this? What movie did I miss? And be like, you didn't miss a movie. It was an epic show. Probably one of their best rated shows, in my opinion, they've ever done. But the fact that you had to know the show in order to watch Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness to know where Wanda's coming from, that was the problem.
Yeah.
And I think that if they didn't do that, it would have made that movie 10 times better than what it was.
Yeah. It's like, guys, if you want free range and you want this guy here, Brian, let's call him, hopefully it's his name. If he wants more She-Hulk, the way that they did it, then Feige, you need to just come out and say, okay, guys, let's be clear. As of right now, you don't need to see the shows to watch the movies. You just don't. And then stick to that. Or you do need to see the shows and stick to that. because that's where the confusion's coming in. I don't want another She-Hulk because to me, I think it's irrelevant, personally. So, I don't know. That's kind of how I feel about it.
All right. Well, and by the way, on all these, and we haven't mentioned it yet, but if you have your 2 cents on these things and opinions, please tell us in the comments below. Like and subscribe to this video too, because we definitely need that for growing our channel. And we're going to move on to the last honorable mention of our news segment right now. And I did not put this on the paper, so I'm going to do the best I can to read it from as far away as I am right now. But it looks like Marvel Studios has trademarked something called Infinity Vision. This happened at the end of March, and there is a lot of speculation of what this actually is. I guess under the trademark, from what this is reported, by the way, from what this is referring to is something of the studios of a movie themselves. Now, it is unclear if this is the title of a television episode of Vision Quest that's coming out later this year called Infinity Vision, if this is a new name for the Vision Quest called Infinity Vision. We have no idea, but it is an official trademark thing now that Marvel Studios has put in, so it is something they're going to be doing with it. It could even be a What If episode that they're just filming. We have no idea too, because that plays on to what If was showing, is that there's What If Ultron had won and had from Age of Ultron and all that stuff. So there's a lot of tie-ins to that too. But regardless of it, Ike, what is your 2 cents on this news?
Yeah, I really don't care. It's I would love more Paul Bettany as Vision. I think he's great as it. I don't think they know what to do with this character. I think that they brought him back in WandaVision just so they could have reason to have him in it again if they wanted to. And like I told you at the beginning before we even started, I'm like, Vision's still alive? It's like, Vision who? It's like, oh yeah, that guy. Yeah. Yeah, it's just been so long now where, I don't know. I don't think they know what to do with him. I don't think they've ever treated him in the way that made a lot of sense anyways. I think he's a great character. I love seeing him in the movies. I think they've always struggled with how powerful do we make him? How powerful do we don't? So we need to write his character in a way where he doesn't use his powers because of certain choices he makes, because he's kind of too powerful. But we're starting to hit that with the MCU right now anyways, where we got some major powerful players, and you kind of just like, at what point is too powerful?
Mm-hmm.
We got like 3 different kind of Superman level people in the MCU right now, kind of. So let's be careful about what we do with them, because then you're gonna have to start dumbing some of them down, or what do you call nerfing them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is gonna make people upset. And at the same time, you can't put some of these people against others, so I don't know what they're gonna do when Jean Grey becomes a Phoenix, because that's it right there, folks. But of course they're not going to do that though, because there's always going to be someone more powerful, right? So I don't know. I think that's the crazy thing about what's going on right now. So I'm curious. I'd like to see what they're going to do. It'd be nice to know, just out of curiosity.
Mm-hmm.
But frankly, I got no kind of stake in this. I don't know how legit. I think they're just saying it to make people think to keep him relevant, because I still don't think they really know what to do with him, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
If he's not in these next 2 movies, that's not going to make any sense either. It's like there's certain things that aren't going to make sense with him just gone right now. He's just White Vision. Where is he even? Like,
Mm-hmm.
They're not talking about this. No one's talked about this. It's one of those things that Marvel's done where they've overstepped and they're not sure what to do, so they just do nothing. So then later when they do something, they can't say they have continuity problems, which in itself is a continuity problem.
Yeah. So from my understanding of this show, and if I don't know exactly where I heard this from, but from my understanding at least, and please correct me if I'm wrong in the comments below, if this isn't an actual thing and this is just something that someone rumored to be out there said, Vision Quest is the last show that Marvel has done or is doing currently that has to tie into the MCU film continuity.
Is that official that they've kind of said?
The last thing that I knew of was that was the last one that they already had in production. Then they couldn't backtrack on it or fix it or do anything like that where they had to do
that
it.
Crap and Ironheart we have to take to heart.
We do, yeah. Ironheart's going to have some hot takes there when we get there, folks. And that's going to probably be this November by the time we get to it, because that's so later on. But anyways, when we get to that retrospective,
so bad.
But yes, apparently that has something to do with the MCU too. But I'm excited to see Ultron from what I've heard of it, even on that Escape Pod episode, he talked about
Oh, that's right.
Vision Quest, and that he's just been reviewing some of the episodes or something like that, and they're fantastic. They're phenomenal, and I'm excited. I like James Spader as Ultron. When we get to that movie, we'll definitely talk more about him, but knowing that he's returning as that villain, which is a really great villain, by the way, I am excited for some of those things. I'm curious exactly how they're going to do this show, so I'm taking it with a grain of salt going into it. And I know this is supposed to be the conclusion of their 3-show trilogy of WandaVision, Agatha All Along, and Vision Quest. So we're going to see how that results at the end of the day. But
yeah, bringing Ultron back's weird, right? I mean, I hope he's just kind of like a voice inside him that is part of him still, and it just like tries to, like the good guy on one shoulder, bad guy on the other, and Ultron's just kind of like talking crap to him. Well, I think that'd be kind of fun,
I always believed that Ultron was still there. He's artificial intelligence, and the Division locked him out of the internet in Age of Ultron, but who doesn't know if he has a back copy? Like, come on, he's Ultron. He's supposed to be super smart.
And Sweden kind of did him dirty in Ultron, in Age of Ultron, so it'd be kind of nice to have him.
It'd be nice to see him back, and I like James Spader as it, so I think that's pretty cool. So I am excited to see that. I'm a little nervous about the CGI, depending on how they're bringing Ultron back, because that would be for a TV show. That's one of the things we talked about for She-Hulk, because that when you hear these shows having the budget of a movie, oh, that sounds cool, but then you think about it, these shows are 3 times longer than the movie when you cut them down. So your budget really should have been a little bit bigger if you're going to do these CGI epics type thing.
Yeah, agreed.
Anyways, just to put a pin on that, I personally think this is just an episode title of the Vision Quest show. Unless anything official comes out of it that they're changing it, which that probably will be something at San Diego Comic-Con. I don't think that's a CinemaCon thing they're going to be talking about, because it's Disney Plus. It has nothing to do with cinemas, but maybe
this is definitely a San Diego thing.
Definitely, if anything, San Diego, or they have D23, which is like a month.
That's right.
About a month later, there's a Disney-owned thing. That's where I could see something like this be announced. But anyways, guys, question is for you. What do you think about all of our news of the week so far? What do you think of this episode so far? If you're watching this as a segment, you could watch a full episode right now on our YouTube, or listen to us wherever you stream. But what do you think of our multiverse minute of this week?
Comment and like down below.